Welcome or welcome back to my channel, Dripping in Alchemy. My name is Starr, and I kept going back and grabbing more and more bits to bring into today's spread. I'm hearing that we are going to go gentle today because some of you didn't really want to address the topic today, which is abundance, which is wealth, which is perhaps careers. I feel like stepping forward. So we're going to keep this as peaceful as possible. So I'm going to enter into the space today with a lavender incense. And I'm hearing just take some deep breaths. I feel like this might be quite an overwhelming topic for many, but this is going to be a very positive reading. So I'm going to start with some oracle, which is connected to the archetypes. And then I'm going to move into some tarot and end on some oracle again. But I'll probably share a little bit about some of the gems that I've got with me today. But I feel like this is a tricky topic because you all care so much, and I want to say that this topic is very on the nose and close to my heart right now, because the idea of monetary wealth is definitely something that I'm still finding my footing with and understanding it in a different way, to match my energetic prosperity that I already own is what I want to share. So really the idea of bringing in wealth through my spiritual nature is something that I'm still learning from the ground up. Because of the limiting beliefs that I feel like I was born into. I feel like it's taken me some time to really break down those barriers in order to be able to feel like I'm ready to receive. So you aren't alone in this. I feel like this might be my reading for myself as much as it is for all of you. So we're in this journey together is what I want to share. Ooh, so the first card that I've got is the Storm. The second card is the Destroyer, which I'm actually really happy to see this card. It's a really powerful card to me. And also the Cave. And I always see this as like a really sensual expression, and I don't know why, but it's interesting that we've got the two sets of eyes here and the Storm. But this idea of keeping your eyes on the prize is stepping forward now. And I think that many of you have tried things in the past, and I shared this over on my Instagram yesterday, this idea of picking up things that you've already put down because you felt like they quote unquote perhaps have failed at a previous time. And allowing for you to dare, I'm hearing, to take this again. And this isn't my first channel. This is me starting again because I know that this is where I'm supposed to be. I feel like the pathway that I've been embarking on for the past 5 years has allowed for me to truly understand myself and soul at a much deeper capacity in the whole world around me, that now I feel ready to share my most authentic voice and show up here as myself to help the collective grow, and those that perhaps have shared a similar story to me or aspects of my life that you can resonate with. And I think that many of this collective feel the same way, and perhaps you're already very established in some area of life and you're now pivoting into something else, and that can feel very daunting in itself. So, perhaps this is an idea of abundance and what it means to you and breaking that down. Perhaps you already have monetary wealth, but you don't feel like you have the backing in other areas, and you're trying to understand why that is. And perhaps, bring everything into alignment. So I'm going to hop right into some tarot today and kind of decode. I'm hearing the Paramore song Decode, which I actually listened to for the first time in a very long time the other day, so I'll put that in the description below as well. So we've got the Four of Swords. Oh, okay, beautiful. We've got the Ten of Pentacles. We've got the King of Wands, which I'm really happy to see as well. And then we've got the Two of Swords. So what I'm feeling here with these cards is that your energy and your wealth and abundance is very much tied to your love for self and self-care, specifically at this time, but I think also overall. So I think that many of you are going to be able to resonate being on a self-love journey, or at least a journey that has brought you back to truly nourishing yourself. And I'm hearing that most of you here now truly do understand what abundance means to you. Perhaps you were looking at wealth from a very I am hearing egotistical sense, so I'm going to share it, but there is no shame here. We all have egotistical traits and understandings at certain points in our life, because I think we don't know any other. So go easy with self, but I think you all know, and perhaps you are wanting that happy ending. As stereotypical as it might seem, or cliche it might seem, the full family, and perhaps some of you are thinking, can I have this? Is this going to rock my foundations of my abundance and my wealth? Specifically, if you feel like you're a masculine energy here, and welcome. But this is about understanding that abundance comes from within. And I feel like monetary abundance and abundance overall are two very different strains of energy. And I felt like, and I've understood abundance and what that's meant for a very long time, but the idea of monetary wealth and abundance didn't feel natural to me. So perhaps flip the script on wherever that is to you right now, as we move forward with the messages. But I split the deck to the Fool, which I'm really happy to see, because I feel like so many of you are starting again. And this is about trusting in the alchemy that you already possess. And I didn't want to share it because it felt too personal, but I wanted to share that I'm in my cycle right now. So this might be something that you want to do, is cycle syncing. If you constitute as being a divine feminine here, whether you still bleed or not, you can still cycle sync to understand, how to maneuver best with your body to help you moving forward. And we've got the 10 of Swords here, and I'm hearing that it's okay to let things fall now, and perhaps that feels really destabilizing for you. Perhaps you have a really solid foundation somewhere that feels very strong. So to say I'm going to give it up feels like you'd be doing yourself a disservice somewhere. But I'm hearing that your soul is really wanting for more. And perhaps for some of you, the things that you're going to have to move away from, it's going to cause conflict. And that's not something that you've been wanting to do for some time. And specifically, if you have others in your energy that you are taking care of right now, you have to trust that their own teams of light are going to guide them to their next prosperous journey as well. I'm hearing that you shouldn't stay where you don't belong, because it's only going to cause more heartache for more. So this might be tied to love as well, and I don't specifically do love readings, but that has really been coming through strongly the past couple of days on this channel, and it's taken me by surprise. But I'm hearing for many of you here, it is about networking. It's about sharing your authentic voice with those around you, and this bringing in the energy for all. And I'm just seeing 7 on the clock there, so that divine number of divine timing, but also God's plan. I'm hearing, and I think that there is a partnership that is peeking through for some of you right now, and you're having to make some pretty big decisions about some things, which is perhaps why this storm is here for you. And I'm hearing that you can weather any storm, whoever is here. And perhaps you've already felt like you've come towards this fault line. Perhaps something has already cracked in the foundations of where you are, and you know that something is out of alignment. And I'm being drawn to the turtle here, my abundance turtle. So I'm hearing, to let whatever needs to fall away, and trust that you are drawing towards you that which is going to be of total fulfillment for you. And the abundance turtle is here, and I like to rub its little belly and just say, abundance is coming to me, to thee, and to all. So this is about truly trusting your pathway. And I think this is the underlining message to you all right here and right now, because I feel like there isn't something that I definitely need to say to any of you that is going to be something that you haven't already heard. But I think you've been terrified to approach this topic. Yeah, because you're worried about your finances overall. Perhaps it's been a real conflicting space for you for some time. But I'm hearing that some of you just truly haven't been in alignment. So I want to get deeper messages as to why that is, and I felt very cool to bring some shells and some pebbles into the mix. And I'm going to read messages from these shells and these pebbles today. And what I'm hearing is this idea of scooping up what is best for you. So you can imagine yourself, being on the shore's edge or being in the sand, and really creating that sandcastle that is your own. And this idea of filling your own cup is coming through. So how can you feel into what filling your own cup looks like for some of you here? And I feel like this is going to be a daily practice for you. Every day, just wake up and say, like, what can I do for me today? Because I think this is going to help you feel into this full energy, and to feel perhaps more settled in making these tough decisions that is going to cause conflict. For some of you, you've just not been wanting to cause conflict, which is why you haven't moved forward, but you've been feeling into the energy. So I'm going to move into this pebble here, and I'm hearing that you are safe and we've got you. And I feel like whoever is here now and this resonates with this message, you are so intrinsically woven into the fabric of everything, into Mother Earth, Mother Gaia herself. And I'm being drawn to the heather here, perhaps the lavender here, and this idea of you are the heart of the earth. So go back to nature if this calls to you. If you feel like, me touching this pebble, and, the feeling of the coldness of this pebble in my hand is really soothing right now. And I'm being drawn to the sword message here. So if you feel like there is something that is quite sharp in your life right now, whatever this is, perhaps this is being drawn back to, you know, the idea of the lacking of wealth, or the foundations that are falling, and the perceived what's the word, conflict that you might have to go through. Go back to nature, because it's going to heal you. And specifically, if you feel like you're moving from one relationship to another, you're going to need to use nature in order to ground yourself. And I feel like this is something that I'm going to be sharing a lot with everyone moving forward. And it was something that I was sharing back in 2022 on my other channel, which is Elemental Origins. If you feel like hopping over there, I think I've got, I think over 100 readings over there already, that might be beneficial for you. But I feel like there is a space within you that is just ready for a clean slate. I'm seeing this as slate in my hand, although it's just another probably pretty good skimming pebble actually, but I heard paddle as well. So perhaps some of you felt like you are just, you know, riding up a hill backwards, I like to say, and the pathway hasn't been clear, but you feel like if you stop, then you would fall, you know, back down the landmine, the slide, back down the mountain again. And I'm hearing just keep going. To some of you, you're already halfway through this pathway of, you know, really moving through the conflict, really moving through the heartache, so that you can reach this 10 of Cups. So do seek community. Each of you that are here, seek nature, seek community, and speak to people about how you are feeling. I think for some of you, the biggest test of self-worth has been allowing for yourself to open up, to share with others exactly how you feel. And perhaps that has felt quite a vulnerable space to be in, but you are destroying, I'm hearing limiting beliefs at this time. You are destroying the narrative that, you know, to ask for help is weak. You are destroying the narrative that the only way to receive this abundance is by my own gain. And I think for some of you, specifically masculine energies here, and, you know, I really do try and keep it gender neutral. So however you feel like you are predominantly in your energy, I very much have been running on masculine energy for a good majority of my life. It's taken me all of these years to step into my feminine energy and wield it for my best benefit. And I feel like I'm still learning that every day. You know, we're all growing and we're all expanding in our own way. So trust that you know what is best for you, but also seeking the guidance of others that you definitely trust around you is going to be beneficial. And maybe you don't take everything that they say verbatim, but you use just a slither of it, or people's previous notions in their life and things that they have experienced. You know, I receive a lot of wealth, and I'm very grateful that I've had a lot of very strong divine feminine energies around me that, you know, perhaps in the later years of their life, and they've embarked their wisdom onto me, and it's allowed for me to truly understand where the past was and how everything and the landscape is very, very different now. So think about the ancestors that have come before you. Maybe perhaps you want to delve into stepping forward for your ancestors. And I'm really feeling such a rush of energy as I'm saying this, everyone. So I'm going to try and ground down as this is stepping forward, because I do feel like some of you, you've been blocking the messages from your ancestors because you didn't want to hear what they had to say to you, because I feel like it was just very painful to be brought to this 10 of Cups energy, because I think for some of you felt so far away from this for the longest time that it was painful to even think about it again. So please do go easy, because I think this is quite an emotional space for many of you. I'm being drawn to 13 and 25 on the clock there, but come back to peace, come back to the soil, come back to what you know to be true in this world. And I think for some of you, you might have been struggling with the multi-dimensional, multifaceted spaces that you are in, and it's been difficult for you to find a footing here, but know that the earth has very much shifted, and the frequencies are now allowing for expansive souls to be their true self and to be seen. And I very much feel like I'm in this camp myself. So this pebble is speaking to me, and I don't know if you can catch here, there's like very beautiful little glimmers that are in between the sediment here, of the minerals. And I'm hearing you sparkle and you shine, and it's okay to do so. So perhaps you want to spend some time, you know, perhaps screenshot this pebble and sit with it in meditation, because I feel like this is you. Perhaps you feel like you've been, you know, the diamond that's been cut from the rough. And I keep getting this notion of like bad boy, promiscuous girl, bad girl energy. And I've been listening to a lot of grime music of late, and I still haven't figured out whose energy that is that's around me, because I normally pick up on other people's frequencies. But I'm being drawn to the phantom inside of this crystal too. And perhaps you feel almost like a phantom energy right now. Perhaps you don't even understand your energy yet. So I want to delve a little bit into that because I feel like that might be a big blockage for some of you here, specifically if you've resonated with this sediment pebble. Don't know why I feel called to that. Trying to trust in that energy. The King of Pentacles. Yeah, I was feeling like I wanted to bring in some animal oracle, but I feel like that might be for another reading. But perhaps you want to work with animal spirits, and that was the first thing that I did. I did a mediumship course way back in 2020, I think it was, and that was the first thing that we did was connect into animal spirits. And now the pathway that my life took after that course and who those animal spirits actually turned out to be later on in my journey was something so profound that I just wasn't prepared for. So I think go easy, go well, but I think I have some very, very, very expansive souls here. And if you want to hear more about that story, you know, please do reach out and I'm more than happy to share within that space. But I don't want to scare anyone off just yet. But you are ready to make big moves. Whoever is here, I feel like you are ready to put down the fear. And I feel like that's what's being transmuted in our time together here. And this is why the Fool came out, and I'm being drawn to the lights here, the fault line here, but also the bright lights. And perhaps you are a being that's seen bright lights in the skies. Perhaps you know, work with this idea of being a starseed or UFOs being real, aliens being real. That's very much my MO as well. But you are ready. And if you've seen bright lights in the sky, that's your confirmation. Yeah, you are supposed to be in the spotlight. And I love that this card has come out 16:18 on the clock there. For some of you, you are supposed to be famous. And I think this has terrified you. And, you know, whether this is a local celebrity, whether this is on a huge platform, whether this is, you know, just being seen, perhaps even just being seen feels like, you know, you are a celebrity somewhere, and that's a lot for you. So I'm being drawn to this Two of Swords here. So whatever is moving through you as I'm sharing these words, take some time to perhaps pause here and write down everything that is coming up for you. And I'm feeling such a rush in the heart space of overwhelm and tightness. So just take a minute and feel into your body. Where are you feeling this in your body? And I'm being drawn to the desert rose here. So perhaps you want to look into more of the meaning of the desert rose and perhaps how that connects to you, and what star sign you are right now. But I'm feeling very tender in my body today. I didn't feel like I wanted to do this reading, but I knew that I had to. And I feel like some of you, you're really getting to learn your rhythms and your cycles, and when, you know, you should push forward and you should be stepping forward, and perhaps when you need to take a step back. And I knew, you know, after this I've got some time to be able to go and enjoy the sun, so I will be replenished. So I think this is about having a strong foundational base to work from and really getting to understand yourself. And yeah, I knew this card was going to come out. For some of you, this is going to mean that you pause here, that you pause on everything that you have been doing up until this moment to really assess where you want to go, because I feel like you are trying to perhaps move too quickly, and you know, you are used to working a very specific way and making like huge jumps, like making real big boss moves, probably like off a dime, time after time after time. Some of you might work in, you know, stock shares, that type of thing. And you might be, I feel like a lot of masculine energy is going to be drawn to this reading, which they might find quite peculiar, you know, given the very pink setup to be very stereotypical in that understanding. But you understand feminine energy, and for some of the masculines here, I'm not trying to call you out, but you've really been having to respect the feminine energy in order to be able to move forward in your spaces. So go easy with you, because you're having to learn something that you are just not naturally that you just haven't naturally been working in up until this moment in time. We all hold masculine and feminine energies in our bodies, so you know, take from that what you will and put that in the box of wherever it needs to. You know, masculine, feminine, they, them, all welcome here. But know that you are now learning to dance with life, dance with the universe, and to really work with your spirit guides at a really intrinsic level. Yeah, and I'm being drawn to sacred geometry here. So some of you might want to start working with your Merkaba, and what that means to work with sigils. And I was seeing witches runes before sitting down again, so that's really that is a really important message for someone. And I brought in a few bits that I connected to Sanrio and Japan, Tokyo, and anime. And I haven't even watched the anime that this is connected to. I can't even remember what it's called, but I was guided to buy this to start sending out energies to call in Soul Tribe. But getting expensive and quite personal here. But as time goes on, I will share more of my weird and wonderful life with you all, because it is quite funny the things that I'm told to do behind the scenes for my spirit team. But we've got the 9 of Cups here, and you're learning to lead with the heart, but you're also learning to allow for that gut energy to step forward within you. For some of you, you haven't been listening to your gut, and this is what has gotten you into trouble. And you know, you've come to a space of, oh, okay, like, holy heck, I made the wrong decision. Like, what do I do now? And I'm being drawn to the Trixillion here. So you might want to look at the 3 legs of understanding in Celtic or Irish folklore. Or perhaps you're wanting to look at the Holy Trinity, what that means to you. Divine 3 is a magic number, however you want to resonate with that. But I've split the deck to the Sun, so that's another deeper message there for someone. Yeah, it's like the minute that you step into your hermit phase, the more that this light is going to be shone on you. And you know, there is a lot of sunshine here in the northern hemisphere, so please do go and seek the sunshine. It is a divine battery for you. Perhaps you just need to go and spend some time soaking in that energy. I'm being drawn to the Swalo here as well in runes, and I've got the Devil coming out in reverse. So for some of you, if you have been struggling, you know, with a love situation, call upon the energy of the Sun, because it's going to help you remove, I want to say, this devilish energy. And I feel like I don't even want to put it on the table, if I'm honest, because I feel like some of you perhaps have really struggled with that. Yeah, and you're moving into calmer waters, so don't be afraid to trust how you feel right now. And apologies, because I feel like there are so many different energies stepping forward with regards to this reading. I feel like so many people are actually going to see this. So I hope that there is a message here that resonates for you, and perhaps it's only just one sentence or something that has been a trigger for you. You know, in the very simple way, perhaps it's something that you see in a card, so go back and study the cards too. But I just keep seeing these gold coins peeking through either side, and anyone that is here, you are supposed to be stunningly wealthy and abundant, both monetary and abundance wise with regards to life. You are supposed to have this 10 of Cups, this happy ending. And I think syncing with the moon cycles, making sure that you are doing your shadow work, making sure that you are stepping towards the light, is going to help you release illusions. For some of you, you are still in this illusion space, and I feel like this is something that I know very, very well. So I feel like this is going to be something that I bring forward as a workshop to understand illusionary energy and how to step out of it. I feel like this has been my spiritual awakening back to back to back to back to back, and I didn't understand it. And I feel like only now, actually, as I share these words, I'm like, oh, okay, this is where this is going. I'm going to help people beat the illusions of the shadow, and we have to integrate the shadow. But I definitely feel like there is a kind of a trap that is here right now for some, yeah, that keeps us trapped in this shadow space. And I feel like this is what I've been working through, like deep grief coming from illusions of the shadow, and this being something that really halted my path. You know, and I trust divine timing, but I definitely feel like I fell into a trap somewhere of not trusting my intuition and just going with what I was seeing rather than trusting what my heart was telling me. And I, you know, had to make that quote unquote mistake in order to learn the lesson. But you know, I think I'm here to stop others from falling into that trap, and I've done, you know, a lot of personal life research, can we say, to help to walk this tightrope of getting out of the shadow. So, you know, stay tuned. If this is something that resonates with you and you would like a deeper conversation now about that, do not hesitate to reach out. But yeah, you're ready to receive, and you're ready to have that nourishing and comforting space for your inner child. And you know, this is about the reciprocity that life has, and I think for many of you here, you know, it's choking me up just thinking about it, because you haven't had that. And we've got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, but I'm turning it upright because this is the energy that you're moving into: true love, true abundance, and allowing for you to believe that you can have it all. And opalite is great for connecting into financial matters and having this with you when you are embarking on any bit of research or, you know, self-assessment. I'm hearing taxes too. Keep this with you when you're doing your taxes, which is interesting. Or putting this on notebooks and things that you are writing in ideas about, because we need to start using nature, and crystals are incredibly powerful tools. I kind of forgotten it on my pathway because I was delving into some pretty dark energies, and you know, like my foundations kind of got really rocked, so I'd forgotten how amazing rocks are to help us. And you know, this goes to any rocks. Like, I love connecting pebbles, and I'm going to share some messages, I think, from I'm going to say the shark's tooth, this orange shark's tooth. Yeah, so that's something for someone. I'm seeing someone cast this to recreate this. So perhaps you are working in something to do with construction, or special effects makeup artist, you are a prop designer, something like that. I'm seeing that in my mind's eye, so I'm sharing that too in case that's a grand idea for someone. Go back to your roots. I was a makeup artist before I did any of my, well, it was part of my spiritual journey, but I was a makeup artist, special effects artist. So go back to your roots. And I feel like this is going to help everything move quickly. Some of you, you've given up on skills that you need to come back to, because this is going to help you move forward and gain abundance. We've got the Empress here, and I'm just going to cover her with something. And I'm seeing this again. It's like another shark's tooth. Perhaps you need to work with shark energy. And perhaps for some of you, you felt like you've been a bit of a tycoon or a shark in other areas of your life, and you don't want to sink into that energy. So let that be your mantra. Like, I want to come at this from a balanced space. I don't want to be I'm hearing leading anyone down the garden path or leading anyone astray. So if that's a massive worry to you, and you would like deeper messages on that, put something in the comments below, and I will perhaps do a reading about that, because that feels like a real strong message. But I'm going to start to bring us to a landing space, to a close with this reading, because I feel like there was just so many, and I wish that I could go personally into everyone's situation, but there was just so many people here. But if you would like a personal reading, how to contact me is in the description below. You can email me, theawakeningstar@gmail.com. But I've also got some other readings on elemental origins, which is my first ever channel, that I will put in the description too, because some of those readings are very, very powerful, very, very beautiful, and I think that there might be more for you over there as well. But I stopped that space for a number of reasons. But the first card that we've got is a Healing Lagoon, Rejuvenation, Recovery, Time to Heal, and it's safe to stop. For some of you, yes, like this is just the energy that you need to be in right now, is giving to you, giving this love to you, giving all of this. Perhaps you're feeling this energy coming in before it's hitting you. Perhaps you don't have the, the relationships that you want around you, but this is something that you've been calling in. Really do give to you and indulge in that space. I'm hearing like the O method as well in that. So if that piques your interest, really do indulge in that energy of the sacral to give you what you need. Bounty is generously give relationships and coming together, and I promise you, everyone that is here, it is coming together. It's just taking some time. 2706, and perhaps this has been a long road. I can promise you, I can resonate with this tenfold. My awakening was violent, it was strong, it has been chaotic AF, and I wish I could share more about it here. Perhaps I will at a certain time, but there was just so much that happened, and I felt like, in all the ways that I wanted my life to move, it just didn't. And it was quite disheartening at the time. And, there were still moments where I feel like, oh my gosh, like, did I make the right decisions in some circumstances? I completely walked away from a life that was so abundant and blessed in so many ways. And I don't mean to laugh if anyone knows me personally and is connected to that, because, it's funny to me. It's like, it was crazy. Like, every inch of my being was just telling me, you don't want this life anymore. And I had no reason to share, with anyone exactly why that was. Granted, there were some things that weren't in alignment, relationships and other such, and, we went our separate ways. I like to think in love now, but it was chaotic at the time, and people just didn't understand. I was just blowing up my life, and everyone was like, what are you doing? And the answer that I had was, I don't know, but it feels right. It didn't feel good because it wasn't a happy place to be in, but it felt so right. And the minute that I'd made a decision to change my life, things happened. Within 3 days, my whole entire life completely changed. And I had to pack up and leave. And I was like, wow, okay, something is really guiding this pathway. And I've just been listening for the entirety of this, and it's taken me to some crazy spaces, some treacherous spaces, but also some very beautiful and otherworldly spaces that I could never ever have imagined in my wildest dreams, and I will always be eternally grateful. But I think I'll share more in times to come. Lady of the Lake, new beginnings, something is about to happen. For some of you, a breakthrough is so close, so don't give up. And I'm being drawn to this little white wolf here. I'm being drawn to white animals, and I had a dream a few weeks ago about white animals, and I keep incorporating them in things that I'm making over on Instagram, which is at theawakeningstar. Again, if you want to delve into that a little bit deeper. But the Lady of the Lake, perhaps you feel like the Lady of the Lake, and this idea of using water to your best benefit, I think is something that a lot of you should be doing right now. working with the element of water, you know, programming every bit of tea that you drink, anything, time you get into the bath or the shower, speaking to that water and saying, I'm blessing this water, I'm letting this water wash away, you know, any impurities, anything that is blocking my pathway, anything that is blocking my abundance, anything that is not helping me to see clearly. And I'm getting a very distinct vision of someone washing out the eyes. So, you know, be careful, be gentle with the eye area, but you might want to be cleansing your eyes for some, and specifically if you wear glasses. For some of you, you don't need your glasses anymore. Perhaps you put on your glasses and you thought, I can't see. It's because you have healed. So trust in that as well. And pink dolphin, yay, celebrate fun, unbridled joy, and heart open. And the dolphins have been a major theme over the past couple of days, so I'm really grateful to see the pink dolphin coming out here. And I'm seeing this as like a bridal gown, which is beautiful. Yeah, cleansing, releasing the old, energetic, turn up, new beginnings. It is time for new beginnings, everyone, and I couldn't be more grateful to share that with you all. It is time, it is time, it is time. Planetary wave, soul mission, trust the inner call, soul team. Yeah, for some of you, you have been calling in your soul team, your soul tribe for some time, and you're about to be gifted that exact notion. Again, I'm just going to call this ribbon. It's a bow. Yes, the word came back to me the other day in a reading. I could not think for the life of me what this is, but this bow is the gift. You are going to be gifted something, and pretty quickly, the minute that you start to just accept you and your shadow, and if you do not know what your shadow is or what shadow work is, and if you would like to work with me one-on-one, I'm more than happy to do so. But there is lots of great information out there on YouTube and other books and such, but I think it's important to delve into every aspect. And I just wanted to show this like half geode here and just how iridescent and gorgeous it is, because I think that some of you really connect to this water sea creature energy. And I brought this little I always see it as like a little lobster, but it's actually supposed to be a crab. I think my friend gave me this for my birthday this year. My friends know me, I just love very cute and weird little things, and she actually gave me a book about pebbles and some pebbles in a bag that she got from the beach, and I adored it. So yeah, no, the simple pleasures mean a lot too, and I think that some of you are starting to understand that. Perhaps if you've come from, you know, a lot of wealth somewhere, and this has always been the rose of my dear soul sister's heart, so I brought this into space because yeah, I feel her energy very strongly tapping into the space. So if you are here, I love you and I see you. And I brought in rhodonite again, so perhaps you want to pause and delve into a little bit more of what rhodonite means, but it's very healing for the higher heart space, and I feel like this is the energy that a lot of you are coming into and wanting to share your abundance. And another beautiful friend brought me this as a present recently when I saw her for brunch, and yeah, I've been friends with this person for a good few years of my life. She's seen me through a lot of phases and stages, and yeah, we met when we were very, very young, and I'm very grateful to still have her in my life. So, you know, cherish those that are around you, cherish those that perhaps have helped you on your pathway up until now. And I think this is called ivy quartz. I could be very wrong. I can't remember exactly, but I have another one that's almost like a witch's finger that I couldn't find because it's on my altar space, but I brought this one in last minute, and I just collecting lots of things. So perhaps that's something that you want to do. And I did this when I was very young. I would keep a shelf and I would let things like fully decay on the shelf. And I remember moving to university and I was really angry that my mother cleared like this decaying shelf, but I think I even had like bits of fruit that had been left on there for like months on end, which sounds really disgusting, but there was something about it that needed to be that. So I wasn't aware that I was always creating altar spaces, because it was just my shelf of things, like cute things or whatever, things that I would find in nature that I would put down. But there was something that was very special to me in that space that cultivated energy for me, I think, which is why it was painful when it was taken away by someone else's hand and not my own. So perhaps you are afraid of what this means to step forward. 33:49 on the clock there. Yeah, and I brought in this aura flashy rose quartz here, which I always use when I'm tapping into my higher heart space or healing I want to say divine feminine energy, but I've also used this to get through some pretty sacral connected trauma as well. So if that is something that, you know, you've been struggling with or something that you've experienced this lifetime, my heart goes out to you, my heart pleads with you, and you know, no one deserves that, but everything is here so that we can work through it and be stronger and share your voice in that space. You know, there's definitely a lot that I want to share moving forward about my personal journey, because I think it's important that we remain in solidarity with one another in those spaces. So trust in your heart, trust in where you are being led, And you know, if you are someone that needs to, I don't know, apologize or own up to someone about ways that perhaps you've hurt someone else, you know, everyone is forgiven, whether you consider yourself to be, wow, we're using real strong words here, the predator or the victim, vice versa. And I'm saying it because I'm being guided to do so. You know, everyone deserves to be forgiven. I feel like we're all here learning this pathway of life. So have forgiveness in your heart, whoever you are in those stories, because, or you know, your life. Trying to tread carefully here, because yeah, recovery and rejuvenation is ready for you. And it's interesting this has come up at the end of this reading. So there is some deep wounding that needs to be healed in everyone here, and you know, wherever that leads you in your stories, of course, going to be so personal to you. And this is definitely a massive curveball that I didn't see coming, but I'm trusting in that energy, and I'm being drawn to like the little beads on the back of here. So that might mean something to someone. Hello Kitty and those beads. And you know, that geisha energy, perhaps this is a past life too that you need to delve back into. And I do past life regression, so I'm hearing 222 in my brain here, and I'm seeing this as someone being in Africa in the waters. I'm being drawn to the mermaids here. There's very strong essence of mermaids stepping forward too. But 355 on the clock there, and I'm going to shut it down here, everyone. So thank you for joining me today. I know there's been quite a lot of expansive messages and trigger warning. Apologies for this, everyone. I'm going to put a trigger warning on this video, so hopefully you caught that. But if you didn't, you know, my heart is with you. If you would like to delve deeper into emotional support, I am here for that. But you might want to look into somatic work and moving the body and fascia work, because this is about what your body needs and nourishing, so that you can step forward and be of service, to be able to receive everything that you deserve to. And this idea of that we only can give from a full cup is something that I think the spiritual community really needs to look into. And I feel like this is why I'm going to be an advocate of this energy. And I know that I'm going to be abundant in all ways, because I was born to be. So maybe you want to tap into pink dolphin energy, your ancestral energy, lady of the lake. Perhaps you want to look into mythologies of the past. I'm seeing this as ancient Egypt, as the Avalon Acres. Perhaps you want to tap into more starseed energy, or that of the crystals, and also crystal grids and what that means in terms of grid work, which I know well personally. So if you would like to reach out to me, again, how to contact me is in the description below. But I feel like that is everything that I need to share today, everyone. Who knows what the next reading will entail. There was a lot stepping forward here, and I wanted to share that I brought a very specific blend of tea with me today, which is dandelion and mugwort with a little bit of honey. I am vegan, but I was told to keep honey in my diet because it helped with my ancestral healing, so I've abided to that. And I don't know why I'm sharing that, so it must be significant. And also this pink ribbon is sticking out to me here, which I had in a ceremony of with a very beautiful energy a few months ago during the last summer, I think it was even. So I'm sharing that too. Pink flowers are coming to mind. I did a post about pink camellia the other day, which is very much connected to this higher heart healing too. And I feel like, yeah, your soul's melody is ready to step forward, so let it speak through you. Because yeah, your fire, your light can never truly go out. And I'm hearing the Smith song, there is a light and it never goes out, so I put that in the description below as well. But everything is moving quickly. 6 and 7 I'm being drawn to here, and we've got 6, 19 and 3 as the numbers to close off this reading. But that's all I'm feeling today, everyone, and I'll be back again so soon. Take care. Bye.